Hello, hello. What's up, everyone? If you are around, jump on, say hello. Would love to chat with you about this topic. So this goes for coaches, entrepreneurs, business owners, anyone in the service, providing services to others. And what I wanted to talk with you about is what happens if your clients don't get what they want. So if you are around, jump on, say hello, let me know where you're joining from. So this is especially a topic that pertains to women. A lot of our sense of self and worth comes from our ability to help and serve others, right? So sometimes, well, actually I'll start with a question before I get into the nitty gritty. Hi, Gary. So have you ever felt like you're working with a client and maybe they're having some pretty good success, and then perhaps they kind of hit a block, or they're just not quite progressing at the rate they were previously, and you start to get a little nervous because of course you want them to be successful, and that's your deepest desire is to see them, soar beyond their preconceived limitations. But that isn't always the case, right? And so what I have found, that definitely had happened to me, where I definitely would attach wanting my clients to be successful, and this isn't just in my business, but it was in my previous career as well. But what I have found is it actually doesn't serve them, nor does it serve you. So I'm going to share with you some tips to help you shift that. So obviously, especially like I mentioned for women, we're more designed to be the caretakers. And so of course we want the people that we're working with to succeed. That's why they're working with us. That's why we're working with them. So we can guide them to that next level of success that they've been kind of blocked from. So, of course, we start to attach a little bit of our sense of worth and self and value to their success or lack of success, right? So this is dangerous ground, because you are not responsible for their success or their lack of success, right? Your responsibility to show up 100%, provide the most powerful service, whatever your service is. If you're a coach, if you're some other service, providing some other service, that you're giving 100% your best and helping them along the way. And then it's your job to let them go. And it's their responsibility to either take the actions necessary to move forward or not. And of course you can coach them through if they're repeatedly not taking the actions. But there comes a point when perhaps your coaching relationship comes to an end, and if they don't decide to continue working with you and they're not at the place they want to be, often your sense of self gets a bit tweaked. And so when I ask you in that place, if that has happened to you, what happens? Like, what is the talk that starts happening in your head? Do you start to doubt your abilities? Do you start to beat yourself up that they didn't get exactly what they wanted? Do you start to question, maybe this is the right thing for you? And do you kind of start to diminish yourself, and maybe you hide, you're not putting yourself out there as much because you have this story. What happens if that happens again, right? What's going to happen to my reputation? What's going to happen, if I don't get more referrals, or if I don't get testimonials? So you create sort of a catastrophe in your head from one incident of perhaps a client not getting as far as they had hoped. So check yourself and notice the loop that you're going into. And I would encourage you to stop and to think about, really, can you make them be successful? Can you make them take the actions you're suggesting? Can you make them go farther than they're actually maybe ready to go, right? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that actually wouldn't serve them either if you did. And that is the role of a coach and of a good teacher, is to let your student take the information and the training and the guidance you've provided, and then it's up to them to take the next step on their own, to implement, to make changes, to transform. And if they have an amazing result, also, that doesn't say again, it's like letting go of that attachment, right? Because what happens if they have an amazing result, you feel amazing. I'm amazing, oh my God. If they don't have an amazing result, you feel like crap. I'm crap, right? And so it's noticing that you're letting your business and your client's success or lack of success manage your power your sense of self and your well-being, right? Because it's an emotional roller coaster. You feel good about yourself, you feel crappy about yourself, and that's not sustainable. You can't be in a business of service if every critique or every negative feedback or every client that doesn't get what they want derails you, because then you'll just end up in the ditch, right? Which takes some time to get out if you're constantly going in the ditch. So this happened to me. I was working with, in my previous career, was coaching teachers and really helping them connect with their strengths and their passions and how to bring more of that into their job. And so their job could be more fulfilling in many different ways. And I was working with one particular teacher, and just was such a struggle. I would sit with them, we'd come up with a plan, development plan, and really try to tap into, what was the easiest, most powerful way for him to start to turn around his numbers, right? It was a numbers game in a way that actually was authentic, and he had a great way of connecting with people. So I was really trying to tap into his strengths and help him to be successful. And it just wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. And this was really hard for me because, of course, I wanted him to be successful. And that was my job, as his director, was to help him be successful, right? Well, I ended up having to fire him, which is a really difficult decision, and not one I took lightly. But I also knew I can't want his success more than he does. And I can't work harder for his success than he is. And I had to let go and realize if he's not wanting the success and putting the effort for his own success, I have to stop. I can't make him be successful, right? Well, interesting thing is, it was kind of a blow up, and of course he was upset, and I got a lot of pushback from other people, which wasn't easy. But I would say maybe a year or two later, I received a message from him that blew me away, and just telling me how thankful he was of all the opportunities I had given him, and that he realized how much he was blocking himself, and that he appreciated that I still kept trying, I still kept supporting him in achieving success. So that was completely surprising and shocking. I had no idea that actually letting him go might have actually been the best thing for him, right? And the same is true for your clients. You have to let them go. Whether they get what they say they quote unquote wanted may not be actually what they needed. And so you have to be able to get to the understanding that they're only going to go as far as they're able and willing, and where they get might be exactly where they need to be, even though it might not be what they said they wanted when they started coaching with you, right? So it's, again, separating your sense of self from the results of your clients and the success of your business. And so keeping that value and honor and worth that comes from you within you, and knowing you determine your sense of well-being and your worth and your value, not anything or anyone outside of you. And I know that can be challenging, but it's really the key to maintaining those ups and downs in business. Absolutely. Okay. Are there any questions? Because obviously you want to stay in business, and if you let some clients that didn't progress as much as they'd wanted to derail you, you stall your own forward movement. And so being able to reconcile that perhaps they got exactly what they needed, and perhaps that was as far as they're willing to go at the time, and that's okay. Doesn't mean you're a bad person or a bad coach or a bad entrepreneur. Just means you took them to where they were able to go at this time. And it's your job to keep showing up, keep serving, and keep putting yourself out there, knowing that your sense of self comes from you. And the more you can bring that out, the better coach you'll be, the better person in general you'll be, and the more powerful you'll be. And you never know, right? What's going on with them anyway. So, okay, my friends, I don't see questions. Well, if you watch this on the replay, let me know if you have questions or comments. I would love to hear from you. And I will be back with more goodness coming your way. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.